Hi, Scott Mason again, back with another weekly installment of Encounter Fitness's Exercise of the Week. We're still in January, so we're still in stretch month. Today, I'm going to show you a stretch that's basically good for your thoracic spine region as well as your shoulders. I'm going to show two different variations of the stretch. One is the beginning variation, which helps lock the hips in place. So as you rotate, you're not moving your hips, you're only moving your thoracic spine. And then the other variation is a little more advanced, where your hips are free to move about, which takes a little more concentration to keep your hips stable and in place while you're doing your stretch. So let me get set up and we'll get stretching. Okay, so for the basic stretch, our lower body is going to stay in this position, sitting back on our ankles. That's going to help lock the hips in place so the hips don't move, which is one of the key points to this stretch, is to keep your hips isolated so that they're not moving. That's how you focus on the part of your back, which is actually the middle of your back. It's called the thoracic spine. There are actually 12 vertebrae in your thoracic spine, and they should be pretty flexible. So this will help with that. On top of that, this stretch helps with range of movement in your shoulders as well. So starting position, just lean forward a little bit. It's okay that your butt comes up off your heels a little bit. Not a big deal. You're still going to have your hips locked out because of the way your knees are. So one arm is going to stay straight, the other arm is going to come back behind your back, and you're going to take a nice breath. And as you take that breath, you're going to turn in towards this far arm, and then you're going to let that breath out, and you're going to start to rotate out away from the arm. So and after you let that breath out, take another breath in. And try to push the stretch just a little bit further back. And like all the other stretches that we've learned about, you want to hold this stretch at least 10 seconds. 15's great, 30's even better, but just to comfort level. And again, don't try to stretch too far back to where it's uncomfortable. This stretch is supposed to be relaxing, not supposed to be a whole lot involved with it. And what you'll notice is that you're trying to move your shoulder to help bring yourself back. You don't really want to do that. You just want to relax your shoulder and use your back muscles, your spine to help rotate yourself through. And then of course, do a 5 count of those on one side and then do a 5 count for the other side. And do 3 sets of those stretches. The stretch is really great. I can't say enough about it. I've noticed a lot of range of motion in my shoulders come back since I started doing this stretch. And of course, my twisting mobility has gotten a lot better. And for the advanced stretch, this is going to actually free your hips up a little bit. You're going to have to kind of be conscious of where your hips are during this stretch. Because what happens is, now that your hips are free, you're going to have a tendency to want to twist your hips as you're coming around. So your hips need to stay parallel to the floor. You don't want them to start to go perpendicular. So it's still the same movements. Arm behind your back. Take a deep breath in. Let that breath out. Take another breath. Let that breath out and try to bring the stretch a little bit further back. And again, hold that for 10, 15, 30 seconds. And same amount of reps, same amount of sets. But make sure that you are comfortable with keeping your hips still before you move to the little more advanced stretch. You won't get the stretching out of it if your hips are turning with you while you're trying to stretch. that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Get out there and stretch, make yourself feel better, and until next week, I'll see you later.